Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us on this great Thursday for the At Home with Charlene show, live on Thursdays from 2 to 3 p.m. on KHTS 1220 a.m. and 98.1 FM. It is always a great day when I see everybody here at the studio, and my special guest today, Matthew Grant.
Hello, hello, hello.
Thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
We have a fun show planned today. We always, we're coming into a holiday weekend. We're going to have an extra day off this week.
Oh, thank you.
So we're counting down. And you know what we were just saying? Oh, it feels like Friday. I'm like one day ahead this week for some reason.
It's terrible when it's Tuesday and it feels like Friday.
Yeah.
And you realize that you just started.
We just started. We are just getting revved up. I was just thinking too, when you drive to work in the morning and you put some music on, it kind of sets a precedent for the day.
Okay, yeah.
I was just thinking, what's your go-to music in the morning? You're a music guy.
I am a music guy.
What's your go-to music? What do you say, hey, I'm driving to work and I got to put something on today because I got to figure out what groove I need to get into?
Well, it depends on the day.
Yeah.
Depends on the time of day too.
Yes.
But I like my hip hop sometimes. Sometimes I want a little Kendrick Lamar, or sometimes I like to slow it down with some jazz.
I take my daughter to school every morning, and some mornings it's a very congested way to school. And, I can see that there's some guys going to work and they're construction type guys and, they got the windows down and their music is just blasting. And I'm thinking, God, it's like 7:45 in the morning and I'm like just dropping her off and I'm trying to, get the day started. I was just thinking, wow, that's a little intense for me. A little
aggressive.
Just a little over the top for the morning. You guys must have been up for a while.
Oh, man, maybe you need to try it.
I don't know. You know what? Yeah, I'll take Maddie to school tomorrow with the windows down, and we'll be blasting our music. Anyway.
Oh, that's fun.
So we're coming into a holiday weekend, and I always like to, when we come into a holiday, I don't know, talk about the holiday, talk about why we're recognizing Memorial Day, and what does Memorial Day mean to everybody.
Yeah.
What are we doing on Memorial Day? What are we recognizing this weekend besides the fact that we have a long weekend and people are getting an extra day off work,
barbecuing
and hanging out with friends? But we're recognizing truly what people have done for us and who have served.
Right. And not just the people who are serving, but the people who have died in service. Mm-hmm. So that's what Memorial Day is really about. People who have died for as long as we can remember. Civil War.
Yeah, people who are constantly sacrificing their own personal lives for the freedom of all of us.
Yes.
So that we can do what we're doing. We have the freedom to sit here and do a radio show. We have the freedoms to go about our day as we choose. We're not, scrutinized. We're not told that we have to do things a certain way. And we want to recognize this federal holiday that is basically supporting everybody who's died and who served for our country and who continues to serve for our country.
Do you have anybody ever served?
My dad.
Your dad served? Where did
my
you
dad
serve?
served. My dad served in the Army for a period of time, and my dad served in the Navy.
Oh, cool. Was he in any wars?
No, he wasn't in any wars.
Oh, that's cool.
But, I think he kind of got lucky in that fact that it wasn't that time. But there's also those who were in heavy wars, come long time ago or come to recent, the Iraq and all those other tours that people have done. And, one thing I think about too with our veterans and people who've served is, what they've seen. What they've been through.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that they come back to a civilized life and they have to learn to relive with their family and their kids and dealing with PTSD.
And it's hard. It's hard for a lot of people. A lot of them is really hard to adjust back into to life.
I mean, I can't imagine what people have seen or what people have been through. I don't know. I really, my heart goes out to everybody who puts themselves on the line for us. And I think it takes a real special person to do that. And
for sure. I think so. My uncle, he was in the Korean War. And he got a Purple Heart. He died. I think he died in combat, maybe. Not, I don't know. But yeah, he died. But they call it the Korean War the Forgotten War because no one talks about it. Ain't that crazy?
Yeah, it's probably because it's not such a publicized war.
Yeah.
It's just not a war that we always talk about.
Everybody
we always
talks
discuss.
about that Vietnam, though. Boy, they talk about that one.
They talk about that. They talk about, the Iraq War, how long that lasted. Because I think because they're recent and they're devastating.
Yeah.
They're recent and they're devastating. But anyway, we want to give a shout out to all of our heroes, everyone who served, everyone who continues to serve. Our hearts go out to you. We thank you. We will recognize you, and we will appreciate you.
Yes.
So one thing I wanted to bring up today that is being discussed in the housing market is probably actually being in discussion currently is the fact that we want to loosen some of the banking regulations. And I know that they're reevaluating some of the Dodd-Frank Act. It's under discussion for, I think, to be signed maybe into legislation come Memorial Day.
Can I ask a question?
You can ask a question.
Is Dodd?
So Dodd-Frank Act is basically...
Why did his mama name him Dodd?
Now, I don't
know.
know.
Talk about that. But
maybe
no.
he was odd. I don't know.
Dodd was odd.
I'm not sure.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But, I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to loosen up some of the restrictions.
What was the Dodd-Frank?
So the Dodd-Frank Act is the Disclosure Act. This is what made it where we have to disclose in specific ways on a loan application. This is the way that we have to do all of our lending on the back end and disclosures and all the timeframes and everything that we have to follow. So I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to loosen up those guidelines a little bit. They're trying to make it a little bit easier for credit unions, small banks, everybody like that, just to get a little bit more of their financing through and not have to be so regulated. I've read a little bit about kind of what they're meeting on, but I don't see anything so specific on, maybe this helps out a little bit. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. We'll find out more, I guess, once the bill's actually gone through and if it's signed off, what type of leniency maybe it gives in the market.
So they put the Dodd-Frank Act into play after the 2008 crash?
They put this into place... I don't remember the exact year, but after that. And this is to protect homeowners.
Okay.
And this is also to protect that we don't really find ourselves in that position again. We want to make sure we don't have a reenactment of what we went through in 2006 and 2007.
That was a hot, funky mess.
That was a time we don't want to relive. We don't want to do that.
No. So do you think this I don't know what the word is, but loosening up the grips, do you think that that's better? Or as a lender, do you think it's better?
I don't think we will loosen up the guidelines ever to the point to where we had them back in early 2000s that led to what we've seen in 2006 and 2007. I think we could have a little bit of loosening up of some guidelines to make it a little bit easier to put certain things in place, to put a little bit more programs in line, make it a little bit easier on the lending side, a little bit easier on the back end side of the financing part. But I think that we still have to we don't want to loosen up too much to where we put ourselves in that position again, because I don't think we're going to, we would put ourselves in a position where it's a long recovery, and we don't want to have that happen.
That's crazy.
I was going to bring up too, I had gone to a seminar last night, and it was a lot of investors who buy and sell property. And there was a speaker there. His name was Bruce Norris, and he was with the Norris Group. And he's a lot of people have heard him speak before, and he's an investor who's been investing since the 80s. He's followed the market. He knows the trends. He follows all the analyticals of it. And he really talked about where I think the market is as well. And the fact of that is we touched on a few points. Lending's tight. We don't have a lot of programs that are, stated where somebody is saying that, they're making $10,000 a month and they're really only making $3,000 a month. We don't have that. We don't have those loans available. So really people are qualifying on 30-year fixed products, maybe a 15-year if they're thinking about, retiring down the road or whatever it may be. So we have real secured, tight financing, low equity. Everybody who's in a loan for the most part, a good majority of the population's in a 3 to 4% interest rate type fixed loan. We've had a lot more cash purchases, which there's a lot of more properties now that are paid off in full. So there's no risk. There's no mortgage on those loans. There's a lot of investor purchase loans. So those investors have, purchased up property too. And maybe they're using them for rental properties, or, maybe they're buying them, fixing them up, reselling them. So no real crazy loans that have been in place, over this last cycle. And there's templates in place for the consumers. So let's just say that they're in a home now, and maybe they don't make a payment or two. Now the bank is more willing to work with them and maybe rent back to them. Maybe not foreclose, but maybe rent back to them. And now the bank is becoming a little bit more of a property management company than it is just a lending source.
Wow.
So we've got that in place. And
is that because we've eliminated all those risks and
so
all those?
In 2006, 2007, when we had the whole crisis happen, they tried to figure out how would they keep more homeowners into their properties and not lose the property and then have nowhere to go.
Wow.
So what the banks tried to do was they tried to figure out how can we keep them in, how can we maintain these people in their properties, and they sort of started becoming a property management company in a way, because they put it in. So instead of them leaving that property, okay, we'll keep that property, the bank will keep it, and they'll just rent it back to the homeowner.
Wow.
So it keeps them in the house.
Yeah.
Maybe they can't afford that payment, but they figure out a rent. So all those templates from back in 2006 and 2007 are in place. So now that we're coming around this new cycle, all of that's been done. So now when we see that cycle or we see something like that happen again, we already know what we can do. Banks already know this is what we can put in place. We want to keep homeowners in that property. So if we can't get it on the interest side, might as well get it on the rental side. And the property management, some of those properties. So we've got that in place. And now we've got more Chinese investors than we do probably hedge funds. And we only have about 2% new construction for 2018. So what Bruce,
is that in Santa Clarita?
No, this is just in general. There's not a ton of new construction happening. So
we've got no land.
So what Bruce was saying is we don't have a market compared to this current market we're in. So we can't go back to the 80s and compare. We can't go back to the 90s and compare, because those two cycles were different than this cycle. Our cycle now is just, there's nothing really to compare it to. So we're not in a position where we're going to have a huge amount of foreclosures, and we're not in the position where there's a lot of people who are going to be losing their homes. It's just a slower market because of lack of inventory, and the interest rates will probably continue to increase a little bit along with value, and people will just be kind of bottomed out of the market, and they'll just have to buy at a little bit higher price with a little bit higher rate. And that's kind of where he was estimating the market to be, and kind of where we all think the market's going to.
So is this good?
I think it's good in a way, because we don't want to see a repeat cycle of a huge decline, and we don't want to see a lot of families losing their home, and we don't want to see a lot of foreclosures hitting the market, because then what we have is we have the opposite happen. Then we have a huge decrease in value. We have a huge amount of inventory, and we have a lot of people who have ruined their credit, are now in a position where they need rentals. And now we're in the adverse effects. So we don't want that to happen. We're just going to be in a little bit slower market, a little bit of a stalled market, but it's going to be continuing to go up. It's going to continue where interest rates are going to be. So I think this is kind of where we're going to be for the next year or two. That's kind of what we were getting.
Kind of what we're getting, just like there.
It's just
is it a limbo?
That's
what you think
where
is a
we're
limbo?
at. Yeah, if we feel like we're just it's kind of stalled a little bit, just a little bit of a stalled market. And
not good, not bad. It's just this is where we are.
It's just slower moving. We're not having one quick race with a bunch of properties available to purchase, and we're not with a super low 3% interest rate that's creating a bunch of, so we'll see where we go. I think we're in a good place though. And one other thing that was interesting to me was they talked about investors, and it was We Buy Ugly Houses. And it was interesting because they buy these homes and then they sell them to investors for these investors to come and redo the properties and then put them back on the market. It was just a very interesting.
Wait. So We Buy Ugly Homes, buy the homes, and then sells it again.
Exactly.
Do they fix it up?
No.
They just buy it and
buy
sell
the
it.
house, and maybe they'll increase the price a little bit, and then they'll go and sell it to the investor. The investor will come in still under market, put the work into it that needs to be done, and then they'll put it back out, on the resale and make their profit. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was really interesting. One other interesting statistic that was mentioned too was back in 2007 when we were going through the market crash. In California, our median home price was at $560,000, where the rest of the country was at $217,000. So during that time where the rest of the country was at a $217 median home price, so you could pretty much live anywhere for that price, California was more than double. And what's the median home price? We're in the mid to high five still. Median home price.
What about the rest of the country?
I would say the rest of the country is probably still right around the mid twos.
Okay.
So that just goes to show you California is so far ahead in value than the rest of the country.
Wait, now I'm from Kansas, okay? So
I know.
When you say
I hate
far
to tell
ahead and all this here foolishness, no, joking.
But it's eye opening that if you have the ability to purchase in California, the type of equity that can be made here. I mean, it's just there's no other there's not a lot of other places in the country where you can have that type of home ownership and you can have that type of increased equity like you do here.
So because this may sound like a dumb question, but because the median home price is where it's at, do you gather people in California, do we gather equity faster here? Like, is it increased I think larger than other places?
Absolutely. Okay. I mean, if you're looking at other countries, you'll see, if you look at any grids or any statistical grids, you'll see that the increase in value is very short and very gradual. So it's constant, but it's at a minimal. And you'll see here, the increase in value is a little bit more rapid. And it's a little bit more, it's a faster pace increase than most of your other states. So investment wise, that's why we see that there's a lot of people investing in California, all over California, just because there's a lot of equity that can be made and can be made fast.
That's
so
great.
I know. I thought that was very interesting. We had to share that today.
So I need to invest.
That's right. You guys need to invest.
So I need to find $500,000 to invest.
There you go.
Anybody got?
And you can get a bunch of your friends together and go do that.
Right.
Okay, stay with us. We're going to take a quick break. We have lots of fun information, lots of energy for our show today, so stay with us.
Little Eye Leaders is the newest preschool in the Santa Clarita Valley. At Little Eye Leaders, our outstanding teachers lead with intellect, perspective, and heart. That means our programs provide a warm, nurturing atmosphere to meet the unique needs of each child. We believe that play is a powerful form of learning for young children. That's why our kids have every opportunity to learn through the magic and excitement of play. Parents, schedule a tour today by calling 303-0400 or online at littleeyeleaders.org.
Genghis Khan Mongolian Barbecue and Chinese Buffet. Healthy vegetables and lean meats. A low-carb treat. Create your own bowls with our delicious meats and always fresh vegetables. Then, blend in your own secret sauce. Feast at the all-you-can-eat buffet and barbecue for the same low price. A local favorite for over 25 years, Genghis Khan is still located on Lyons Avenue just east of the I-5. Enter between the Chevron and Shell gas stations. Come and see us soon at Genghis Khan.
Hi, this is Dr. Pilecki. Too often, people cringe when they hear the word chiropractor. Maybe they got seduced by someone with more charisma than skill, or they just don't want their spine cracked. After 7 years of postgraduate certifications, I never crack anybody's back. But my exclusive 5-therapy approach often gets more relief than drugs or surgery ever could. So Google Dr. Palucki, find out why I earned all those 5-star reviews. Hope you get to write one soon.
Hi, Santa Clarita. This is Rosemary with Beyond Harmony Med Spa with some great news about Kurt Stinson. Now, why am I telling you about a plumber? When I had a horrible plumbing situation at my house, Thanksgiving morning, house full of people, of course I called Kirk. He rushed right over, took care of our problem. The prices were so reasonable, I couldn't even believe that I was paying that on Thanksgiving Day. If you need a plumber, Kirk Stinson is the guy to call.
Plumbing by Kirk, 263-6519, or visit plumbingbykirk.com.
If you are at least 55 years of age and have a torn or irreparable rotator cuff, you may be eligible for a no-cost clinical trial at Southern California's Orthopedic Institute's Valencia Clinic. Call 818-901-6600 extension 1525 or visit rotatorcuffstudy.com to learn about a study of an investigational shoulder implant. Call 818-901-6600 extension 1525 or visit rotatorcuffstudy.com. Sponsored by Microair Surgical Instruments.
Welcome back to the At Home with Charlene show on Thursdays, 12:20 a.m. and 98.1 FM on KHTS, your hometown station, and we're having a good time today. We're getting ready for the 4-day weekend. Even though it's a Thursday, we know we have another work.
You're counting Friday.
We got another work day ahead of us. We know that. We know.
Is Friday really a work day or is it a weekend day?
I don't know. I work hard every day. But, I'm looking forward to a long weekend. I think barbecuing, having time with your family. Mm-hmm. My daughter has a dance competition this weekend, so we're going to be gone, for a day or two doing that with some friends. So it'll be fun. We'll have a good time doing that.
Be fun.
Yeah, barbecues, get all your friends together, have fun. Even if it's gloomy out, right?
Yes. Is it supposed to, the weather's supposed to break? Is it supposed to be better?
But you know what? This is what we have to think. We have to think that we're grateful for the weather we have, because as soon as the weather turns to 100, 105, 110 degrees, we're all going to be complaining that it is so hot. So the end of May, and we're, 60, 70 degrees weird. Out? We're doing good. So, I always like to talk about some statistics. I like to let everybody know kind of what's going on in the current market. When you're buying and selling, I just really want everybody to know that, where you're at. And I find it interesting every time I'm doing the research too. So in the last 7 days, this is all for Santa Clarita Valley, we had 92 new listings hit the market.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so we had...
In the last 7 days?
In the last 7 days. And in the last 7 days, we had 63 closed transactions. So if you've been listening to the show and you follow our little statistics we've been doing over the last few weeks, you'll know that based on this week, we are having more listings hit the market than closings. So that means we're building inventory. That's good. We want to build more inventory. We want to add to the pipeline, so we've got a little bit more. We've been running 1.6, 1.7 months of inventory. With more hitting the market, maybe we're going to be following maybe more of 2 months of inventory, which is going to be good. That means everyone has a little bit more of selection. That means there's a little bit more to pick from, and we'll probably typically see that May, June, come summer months. So that's pretty typical. So inventory is increasing, which is great. That's great for everyone selling. That's great for everyone purchasing. And currently on our market, we have 456 active listings. Ooh. So in the last 7 days of the closed loans, the 63 closed loans I mentioned, 5 of those were FHA. So FHA, for everyone that's not sure, that's our government loan with a 3.5 minimum down payment. Excellent loan program. We had 3 closings for VA, and our VA represents our veterans. So anyone who served or currently serving, they can use the VA loan, and with that loan, you're going to get 100% financing option. Excellent loan if you are a veteran, if you have a VA loan, or you're able to lend on your VA, then that's a great loan for you. Cash transactions. So here's an interesting part. Of the 63 closed, 10 of those were cash.
Somebody's walking around here with a lot of
money.
So
that's a pretty good. That's a pretty good. Our cash buyer is more than our FHA and our VA financed loans.
So people got money now.
People have money. And the only thing is I can't track who the cash is coming from. I don't know if it's an investor. I don't know if it's, a family member. I don't know. It doesn't break out specifically who is coming in with all these cash. But 10 cash buyers out of 63 is a pretty significant amount.
Yeah.
Of those 63 closed conventional, 34.
Wow.
So our conventional loans are usually superseding all the other loans in our statistics. And that can be 3% down conventional. That could be your 5% down conventional. That could be your 10, 20% down conventional. Great program too. Lots of items that you can do and use that. And then we had 11 closings that had other type of financing. Maybe it was private financing. Maybe it was an outside the box type of a loan, CalHFA maybe, some of those other loans that maybe run with some down payment assistance. So that's kind of where we've been in the last 7 days. But an interesting thing that I wanted to review too was our median days to sell a house. So our average days on market. So what that means is when you are deciding to sell your property and you put it on the market, let's just say May 1st, you put your property on the market. Mm-hmm. So an average days that property is sitting on the market for January, it was 22 days. So an average home was sitting on the market 22 days before it actually went into an escrow. In February, it was 17 days. So the properties were sitting on the market for about 17 days. In March, it went to 13 days.
Wow.
In April, we were at 13 days. Now hitting May, properties are only sitting on the market for 11 days before they go into escrow.
Wow.
So if you're thinking about selling your home, I want everybody to know for May and June, you're probably going to be looking at a 10 to 11 day wait period for that property to go into escrow. And I'm probably saying it may go in faster depending if your property is, it's ready to go, it's listed right, the price is right. You might have that property fly off the market within a few days. It might sit on the market a little bit longer, but average days, I would say probably coming into June is going to be about 10, 11 days. So if you're thinking,
we just had an agent that didn't even get to put it on the market.
Yeah.
And in my office, we had an agent didn't even get a chance to put it on the market. It was literally.
And that's what will happen too, because let's just say, for example, and this will be with all of our agents out here in Santa Clarita Valley, they might have a listing coming up and they might pitch that at their meeting, on their Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever meeting they have, and say, hey guys, I have a listing coming up and it's going to be over here and it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, going to be listed at this. And someone might say, I have a buyer for that. And, they might not even have it in the MLS, multiple listing service, before they might already have a buyer interested. Just because
it's crazy.
It's that type of a market. So I just wanted all the listeners to know that maybe aren't in our industry and aren't working in it on a daily basis to know that if you're thinking about selling your home, be prepared for it to go pretty quickly. So if you're thinking about putting it on the market this month, you'll be closing next month and you'll be moving. So keep that in mind as we're hitting the summer months. It's going to be faster and faster as we go.
That's so cool.
Which is a good thing.
It's a great thing.
And another thing we wanted to bring up too is there's going to be a lack of jobs for the college students and the millennials in Santa Clarita. So they really need to get out and, make an effort to try to find some type of employment. But I also want to reach out to the renters, because everybody who's renting right now, and if you're trying to move up and you're trying to get into that property that you want to start out in, you're going to get into a condo at the same amount that you're paying for rent. So take advantage of that.
Pretty much, yes.
And
oh my goodness.
Would you say that most people think, and I say this all the time on the show and I've brought it up multiple times, a lot of people will think that they can't do it. And I urge you to reach out to us and see if you can do it, or not. Maybe you can't do it right now, but you might be able to in a little bit down the road, and we'll give you the path that it will take to do that.
Taking someone through a purchasing process, first-time buyer, I've found that it is easier to get a home. Like, it is, what am I trying to say? It's easier. Yeah, it's easier than you think. Like, I thought it was going to be just a most terrible and agonizing process. But there's so many programs for whatever walk of life you're in.
Absolutely.
That if you're renting, maybe you got to save a little bit, so get on a budget, pay off some stuff.
And if you don't have money, you can get a gift.
Definitely.
So parents, siblings, aunts, uncles, maybe somebody said, hey, instead of and think about this, instead of, maybe getting married and spending all that money on a wedding, do a low investment in your wedding and take the rest of that money and put it to a down payment.
Go to the courthouse.
Right, there's no money coming back on the wedding. That money's gone, it's done. But you can make money on property.
Yes.
Absolutely. I mean, but there's so many ways that you can finance a property. Don't think that you can't do it. Know that you can. You just need to be directed a little bit on the process.
You got to have the right agent, the right lender, and
that's right.
the right attitude.
That's right. And that you can attitude, right?
You can. I got a new attitude.
We came up with some interesting things that we wanted to talk about. But just a reminder, everyone's listening to the At Home with Charlene show Thursdays live from 2 to 3 on KHTS 1220 and 98.1 FM. But we thought we were going to do something fun today. And Matthew came and said, I think for your show, we should come up with some household hacks. And let's talk about some cool things we could do for the house that you normally wouldn't think about, or that you could use in your home that doesn't cost anything. You probably have it laying around and you could do something with it. So we thought it would be fun to share some of that with you.
Yes.
You start, Matthew.
Want me to start? Okay. So this is one. I don't have this written down. This is just something that my grandma taught me.
Okay.
So you cleaning the glass. We'll normally use Windex. So what she would do is she would take a bowl. She'd take some cornstarch and water, make a little paste, and put it on the window. Sorry, that was Kansas. Put it on the window, and then it cakes up on there, and then she'll wipe it off, buff it off. Clear. You'll see the crows hitting the window. See? That's how clear it will be.
And I have one that goes right along with that. I had one where if you take your dryer sheet from the dryer, and
after
it could be pre-used, used, whatever, and it will remove the soap scum from your shower door. So your glass shower doors. So that's another little household hack that you can use.
Speaking of scum on your shower, you can clean your window, your shower door. Put some Rain-X on it.
There you go.
It's going to roll right off. It's going to roll right off, bro.
And you know what we do in the car? You can do this in your car. You know where you put the windshield, just the actual water in there? You put a little Rain-X in with that. So as you're cleaning your windshield, the Rain-X goes in there too. We've done that too in our cars. Just wiping it off. That's right. Then it'll just roll right off. So I know we're being silly, but we have some fun ideas.
It's your turn.
I like the toilet paper roll that you can use, and you can put an extension cord wrapped up and keep them separate and line them up in the closet or whatever it may be. So they're not getting intertwined. Use the little... the toilet paper roll, the little end of it, and you kind of use your cord in there.
Okay, I got one for you.
Okay.
So you get scuffs. I wear my boots. I got my boots in me, and I scuff the floor up at my house all the time.
So you get those little black marks on
all
the floor.
The time.
Okay.
And take a tennis ball, rub them bad boys right out.
Oh, that's a good one. Now, I have one where I saw a picture of this. And so for us girls, we wear tall boots. So you can take pant hangers and you can clip either side of the boot, and you can actually hang those up in a rack in your closet.
Boots?
Or your boots, like the boots you wear on your feet. Take the little pant hangers and take the center. So put your boots together. Take the little, the center, put two boots together. Take that center piece. Clip your little hanger on there and hang all your sets of boots up in your closet.
All the husbands are going to be mad at you right now. It's like we already don't have room in our closets because of all our clothes. Now it's taking more space with the boots.
Hey, but the husbands can hang their boots too.
Okay, I got one. So if you ever been in the shower and the shower is spraying
I like this one.
no one can see my face and my hands, but it's spraying all over the place. So what you could do is you could take a bag, a plastic bag filled with vinegar, and put it around the shower head, and it'll clear out the calcium from the shower head.
I like that one.
Ain't that pretty cool?
I like that one because you know what? You always think about, and you're scrubbing it and you're trying to clean it, how to get that really, really clean. But these life hacks, these household hacks that we're coming up with, this is going to save you all time.
Save you some time.
This is going to save you time. I've got a good one for traveling. So if you're traveling, if you're a traveler, let's just say you have a sales job and you're traveling a lot. Use the shower caps that they leave for you in the bathroom to cover the soles of your shoes and throw them in your bag.
What? Oh.
So you take those little plastic shower caps, wrap them around the sole of your dress shoe or whatever it may be, throw those in your bag.
Throw them in the bag.
There you go.
I'm not mad at that.
No, I think it's a great idea.
I'm not mad at that at all. So, one thing that happens in my house, my wife paints her fingernails and her toenails, and somehow it ends up on the carpet for some reason. I don't know how that happens. But when you can use rubbing alcohol and one of those microfiber, you know what I'm saying?
Cloth.
Cloth, that's what they call it.
And it gets it right up.
It gets it right up.
Now, this is a good one for the moms. So let's just say you've got maybe your toddler, they've climbed out of the crib, they're getting ready to go into their bed. You're putting them in the bed for the first time and you're thinking, I don't want them to roll out, right? Because they're used to having that crib edge that they kind of go up against. So a pool noodle, you could take a pool noodle, line the side of the bed right there, pull your fitted sheet over it, and then that pool noodle acts as a little barrier right there so they don't roll out.
So those things are not just for hitting people in the pool.
And you know what? Pool noodles can be used for almost anything. Do you know that?
That's crazy.
You guys, listeners, look up the pool noodle and you'll see that there's probably tons and tons and tons of ways that you can use that.
Hey, I saw you can take a pool noodle, you cut that bad boy
in half.
Right, cut it in half. You can put a rake, the metal rake, use it as a squeegee. Squeegee on the floor.
That's what I'm saying. Life hacks. Look those up. The pool noodle. I think it's a great idea.
Here's one.
I saw tons.
I didn't. That wasn't one. I just gave you one about the pool noodle and the squeegee. Here's one. You can take a squeegee and get the hair up off the floor off the carpet in people long hair, dog hair, all that stuff. Just take the squeegee.
I think we're having too much fun today.
Pull it right on up.
I've got one for so Memorial Day. Everyone's going to have a barbecue this weekend. It's going to be fun. You're going to have friends over, and you're going to probably make some cocktails.
Oh, yes.
So, the little dum-dum suckers?
Oh, yeah.
Or a little sucker like that. You can use it as a stir stick for your cocktail.
Shut your mouth and shoot
me. And you just take the top off of it and stir it into your drink. I don't know. I thought that was kind of fun.
That's just deliciousness right there.
Maybe for a kid's party, not a cocktail, but you can have like lemonade and put a little sucker or something in there. That'd be fun.
For a grown people party.
Yeah.
They having fun. The kids having fun. It's sugared up. Everybody's sugared up and having a good time.
There you go.
Okay, Memorial Day saved.
We got it.
Here's one. Coca-Cola. You're in the car and you're in your where am I at? Garage. That's where you are. We're in the garage. You pour some Coca-Cola on that grease spot.
I'm gonna try that.
And scrub it up right up off there. And Coca-Cola's good for the battery, the erosion on the battery in your car. My uncle did it. Now I'm telling y'all, we from the country, so you might not want to do that, but he's still around.
He's still around.
He's still around.
Oh, you guys are listening to the At Home with Charlene show. We're having a fun day. I said we were going to try to make something fun today. We're going into the holiday weekend. We thought household hacks would be a fun thing to talk about a little bit today, in addition to our statistics that we always like to bring to you. But I have a couple more. Do you have a couple more?
I do.
I got a good one. I've got, you can use baby powder to help untangle your jewelry. So if your jewelry gets, maybe a necklace or something, and as women travel, sometimes we throw it in a little pouch and it gets tangled up. You put a little baby powder on there and it helps loosen up.
I wonder
the actual.
That is crazy.
I don't know, but it happens to me a lot. So I thought thought it would be.
I have powder all over the room now. Like,
I thought
hold
that
on.
was an
I'm
interesting
tell my wife,
one.
like, hey, babe, hold on real quick. Let's put this powder on here. I'll show you what I did.
I'm not even gonna let you talk about another one because I have this one too. So everyone eats Pringles, right?
Needs them?
Or has eaten Pringles,
Yeah.
eats Pringles. Now the empty container, spaghetti noodles.
Shut it.
So instead of your spaghetti noodles, because you don't use it all the time, and you have your package, and you take some out, and then the rest is in there, and then they fall out, and then they're in your drawer, and then your cupboard. Use your little Pringles container, and you put all your spaghetti noodles in. It has a lid.
You know it'd be great for a Pringle can if they had the same little thing like the deodorant.
There you go.
You ever try to stick your
That's
hand out?
true.
You ever stick your
That
hand
is
out
true.
in that
If Pringles is listening, we need you to create a little twist at the bottom so you can bring the rest of your chips up. Anyway.
That would be a life hack.
All right, you guys, we're going to take a quick break. Don't go away. We've got a fun show wrapped up for today, so stay with us.
Accidents happen, but rest assured Patterson's Collision Center is here to help. Patterson's is a family-owned and operated collision repair facility providing the Santa Clarita Valley with premium collision repairs. Patterson's prides itself on being the only California-certified green repair shop in all of Santa Clarita. They are insurance claim specialists and even offer payment plans for your deductible. For personalized friendly service, visit pattersonscollisioncenter.com or call 294-1011 and let Patterson's Collision Center help ease your worries today.
Olive Terrace Bar and Grill is the hottest new Mediterranean fusion restaurant in Santa Clarita with unique delicacies like seafood right off the boat, mouth-watering prime steaks, artesian sandwiches, delicious pastas, and tasty kebabs. Unwind on their cozy outdoor patio at their weekend champagne brunch, full menu, and weekly specials at oliveterracebarandgrill.com. Check out their full bar and happy hour daily specials in Valencia on Copper Hill and Newhall Ranch Road by LA Fitness. Olive Terrace Bar and Grill, delicious food seasoned with love.
Finding the right lawyer can be a challenge, but in Santa Clarita, there's no need to search when there's Hacker Law Group, Santa Clarita's premier litigation firm. Jeffrey Hacker has represented celebrities, financial institutions, accident victims, real estate developers, realtors, contractors, businesses, nonprofit organizations, and other individuals and companies with their legal challenges. Mr. Hacker is one of Santa Clarita's leaders, consistently listed as one of our most influential. When everything is on the line and you need legal counseling, visit hackerlawgroup.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the At Home with Charlene show. Every Thursday from 2 to 3 live on KHTS 1220 and 98.1, your hometown station. We're having fun today. We've even got Cody in on the fun.
Yes.
I got to put Cody on this air with us because he's into our life, our little household hacks here. He was even looking up the pool noodle scene.
Do you have a life
What
hack?
pool noodle variances there were, right, Cody?
Of course, yeah. Well, like I said, I saw them for $1 down at the Dollar Tree, so I figured it's probably about what they go for. But they have $40, $30 top of the line pool noodles. So
top of the line. I wonder what the material is.
We
Is it
realized that there's huge, like big circled pool noodles.
Oh, there's circle ones.
There's the littler pool noodles. If you say that really fast, it doesn't say pool noodle.
Pool noodle.
It's dipped foam. I don't know what that means, but dipped foam. Those are the nice ones.
Yeah, those are the really heavy, like plastic ones. We have one of those too. But see, you could have an array of these things. We're going to help everyone out this summer.
Yes.
When you're done with your pool noodle in your pool, you can use it for your household
you can
hacks.
use it for your household hacks.
I'm sad. This is fun today.
Yes.
We're having so much fun. Okay, I have a couple more.
All right.
And then we're going to talk about something else. So the wine box, they were using it as a shoe storage. So let's just say you're going to have some of your, I don't know, maybe you have winter shoes, summer shoes, or you have shoes that you just want to store. If you go into Trader Joe's, and you have those big wine boxes.
Oh, those
right?
And I was thinking about the box wines.
No, not the box wine. And you actually buy like 12 wine bottles. That box.
Do people do that? I'm a little cheap, and I'll go get the $2 wine over it.
Well, you could get the $2 check from Trader Joe's too, and you can have that.
Oh.
Hey, I was gonna say Trader Joe's is when I think about $2 wine. It's where I think the Charles Schwab there. It's still,
That's what I think of too,
one.
and that's in reality, that's actually what, a $7-8 wine. I think there was something that, I don't know the whole story, but it was supposed to be a much more expensive wine, and it's a cheaper wine, but it's not a cheap wine.
Note to self, going to Trader Joe's
Yep.
after the show.
And you will have a shoebox storage container.
Oh, okay. I got one.
Okay.
Okay, you can easily clean your iron. People still iron. I don't know. I do. Turn it on hot, not steam, and you can put some salt on a piece of paper or some aluminum foil, and rub it on there, and it'll take all that black stuff off of it.
See, I'm gonna use a lot of these that I'm talking about today for myself. Now, for gardening, a lot of people are probably thinking about gardening now that it's spring and summer coming up, and you're gonna get new plants and you're gonna do all these things. Now, for your plants that you're putting out on your patio or in some of those areas, you're gonna want to line them, especially when they have that little small drain hole on the bottom.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna want to put a coffee filter in there. Put your soil so that when you go to water it, you're not losing all your soil through that little drainage hole.
Huh.
That's a great one.
Wow, that is great.
So when everyone's out getting their gardens ready and planting their flowers and getting all that ready, you're going to put your coffee filter in there.
Cody, you got a life hack?
I do not. No, I picked up a few today, but as far as my own, no, I do not have any.
See? Is that the last life hack you had?
That was my last life hack.
I have one more.
Go for it.
I have a few more, but we'll wrap that part up. So for the kids in the summer, you know, they go have a popsicle and the moms are freaking out. Please don't drip that all over my furniture. You take those little foil cupcake holders that you can make cupcakes with, and you poke the little stick through the popsicle. So the kids are eating it, but it just drips right there into the little cupcake pan instead of all over mom's furniture and floor. And
wow. Do people still use popsicles? I mean, I'm all about the Otter Pops. No?
You know, I don't know, but you know.
Am I in the world of my own right now?
But I have to say, maybe because we're older, but the kids, you know, they want the drumsticks and the Astro Pops. What are some of the other ones?
Otter Pops?
Otter Pops
Man,
are,
I just
those
said
are in the
that.
plastic containers though, right? Those aren't going to.
I just said that, man.
Those aren't going to drip over everywhere.
Those are so good, though.
What do they have? What are the rocket ones called? You know, they change colors.
The Astro Pops?
There we go, Astro Pops.
Astro Pops, the red, white, and blue. That's a good one for Memorial Weekend.
That is.
Get all those kids Astro Pops and then line them with those little foil cupcake holders. Hey, we're cutting down on the cleaning time.
We are.
You know, the cleaning time you have for cleaning up your mess.
Will it work for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ones though? Like the little faces, remember those ones?
Oh, I remember
There
those.
you go, the ice cream that you guys got those from the ice cream truck drivers.
The eyes are like
Yeah. And the Pink Panther or whatever. Yes. What else did they have?
Bart Simpson.
Yeah, and they
Power
have the gumball
Rangers.
eyes.
Mm-hmm.
They have the gumball eyes. I think my daughter still runs
Those
after the ice cream
I
truck.
was gonna ask, does the ice cream truck still come around?
Yeah, and you know what? He came around the house once. My daughter and her friend went out, and then he came around the next Sunday, and he comes around religiously every Sunday and slows really slow in front of my house. Lets that music play, and then either she runs out because she's home or she doesn't because she's not there, and then he just goes about. Yeah, but he knows there's a paying customer at my house. He comes down that street all the time. Oh, I don't know. One more.
Okay, go for it.
One more, because this is really important. As everyone's getting their house ready to list, to sell, you're doing your painting.
Mm-hmm.
Take a rubber band, wrap that around your paint can, and you're going to use that to get the excess paint off of your brush as you're painting, instead of putting it onto the side of the can.
Oh, that's
So you're going to take the rubber
dope.
band around, and you're going to put it in the very middle of your paint can, and just take your paintbrush right on the either side of that little rubber band.
That's
and now
cool.
when you put the lid back on, it's not going to have all that paint around the
All that
side,
extra.
right? Because you're going like that off on the side.
Love it.
That's our life hacks, household hacks. We're, you know,
I love it.
I don't know.
Now I want to
Hopefully-
go paint something.
Hopefully we helped everybody with those. I want to make sure that, you know, everyone's prepared for the fun long weekend. You could take all these into consideration this weekend.
You can do them all this weekend. Literally.
That's right. Oh, I think it's funny. You don't have anything else over there, Matthew?
I have nothing else.
We're good with our life hacks. All right. So on our show today, we've talked about so many things. We've talked about the current market statistics. We've talked about the Dodd-Frank Act. We're going to try to see what we can do to lessen up some of the guidelines. We're always talking about statistics. We're talking about how renters should be purchasing a condo for the first time, get into the market. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be right back.